Exactly.
What is the goddamn issue?
And you know what she says? She says she processes verbally. So it may not be for you; it's for her to guide herself through to get to the point.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
she's just talking herself through it to find
Which
her
makes
point.
sense.
But it's
Okay.
like, oh, but I gotta sit here and I gotta listen to it.
Right.
Why don't you go into a room,
Talk it out.
to yourself,
Write it down.
Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother.
Y'all be
Hey, hey, you know, this is the first. I think this is the first time where I got in the car and I was kind of like somber,
Yeah.
and that nigga was equally sad. We were both just like tired.
Yeah, man.
My God, and I knew I was like, I'm gonna hear Keenan out first.
Because I was like, yo, I said, Gary, man, I was like, this is the first time your energy's been like, he's just like, man, I'm just.
That shit.
I know for me, I guess just what happened on the way here. I was telling him about, so you know, this is gonna drop on Saturday, but next Saturday. But we went to Tahir's birthday party, and so you know we were getting about to get ready for that. And I was telling him I don't like how what my girl does is she'll like what she really wants to say she'll kind of like try to fluff it with other stuff.
Just go through the story.
So
It's funny.
so she was like, hey babe, we're about to get ready for it or whatever. She said, hey babe, are you gonna shave? Like shave my head? I was just like, nah, it's too late now, She's like, well, could you shave? I'm like, it's kind of late for me to be shaving right now, I would have to, because my hair was too long. I would have to like shave it with clippers and then shave it with a razor. I was like, that's gonna take me way too long. So I was like, I ain't gonna do that. She's like, all right, cool. So what are you wearing? I was like, I'm just going, jeans, jacket, hat. She's like, I don't know if the place. I don't think you should wear that there. I was like, why not? It's a bar. We're going to a bar. She was just like, but you know what type of bar it is? I said, I do know what type of bar it is. He sent me the information. She's like, well, you don't want to like dress up or something. I'm like, so when she says that, she goes, like, it's just like put on something nice, like get dressed up. I said, oh, so in my head I immediately was like, all right, this is what she's trying to tell me.
Right.
She's trying to tell me like, look, I'm dressing up, so I need you to match my casual in the sense like, I don't want to be you. She was like, I don't want to feel like we're going to two different events, but she says that later. So I said, I was like, no, I'm not wearing that. She goes, I'm not getting dressed up. She goes, oh. I said, what are you really trying to say to me? Say what you really want to say. What you really want to say is...
Was the hands in there too?
Why do you
Yeah. Because, Gary... The hand was there. I said, look, just say what you really want to say. I said, what you really want to say is...
You look like shit.
No. It wasn't I look like shit at all. It was like, I want to say that I'm dressing up, and I don't want to be dressed up, and you're not dressed up.
Yeah,
she wanted to match.
She wanted to match.
That makes
she wanted to match the casual.
But it sounds corny when you're like, let's match.
Yeah, and my thing was just like, if you would have told me that earlier, then that's fine. I already had what in mind what I'm gonna wear.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not doing that. And I was just like, why didn't you just say that? I said, why can't you just tell me what you really want to say? So they're trying to fluff it with the event, saying I have to wear this because the event's saying that. She just starts cracking up laughing, and I'm just like, see, I was like, if you just tell me, because I tell y'all a lot of our arguments kind of end with us laughing. And then she goes, well, could you just throw on like, a button up with the hat? I said, nigga, I'm not gonna dress like Chaz. I don't want to dress like Chaz going to this to this event. I'm not gonna wear lugs, a button down, and a hat and a vest with some baggy jeans.
Oh my God, Chaz just catching strays. He's not even here.
Yeah, he's taking strays. But were you just like, was she just like, I kind of like the way Chaz dresses?
No, when I said it, she laughed even harder. She's just like, ooh, that kind of is what Chaz wears. She's kind of like, ah. So she kind of laughs at that. And then, so I get dressed, and I was just like, yo, I know I look good. She's just like, all right, you do look good. Could you change? She's like, all right, for me. Could you at least put the beanie on instead of the hat? Because I feel like the beanie is going to make it a little bit more casual to where I won't feel like, whatever. So I was like, this is all for her feelings at this point. I said, you know what? marriage-wise, this is a marriage compromise right here. I said, you know what? Even though we're about to be indoors at a bar, I will put on a beanie for you. Even though we're gonna be indoors. Within 2 minutes of us being there, we're both sweating. I said, see why I didn't want to wear a fucking beanie? Because I knew. This is why I chose a hat. I chose a hat because I know a hat is cooler. It was a trucker at that, so I get the breeze. You know, the trucker has the breeze in the back, has the holes. I get the breeze. So I was heated, and then when
How was everybody else dressed?
if you look at the pictures, Ron, like all the dudes are dressed kind of similar in a sense. They're wearing a jacket, regular t-shirt, and jeans, and some Dunks or Jordans, some shit like that. All the women are dressed up though.
Women love getting dressed up, though.
Yeah.
They love getting dressed up, and they look for a reason. And like, cause me and Cotty, this bullshit. Even though it's not picking it up on mine, is it picking up on yours?
Low.
Nah, you good.
It's low on mine.
Me and Cotty, when we're about to go out, I'm like, "What are you wearing tonight? Like, what is this event for? What are we doing? What's the theme here?"
Yeah.
Because I don't like getting dressed.
Right.
And for us too, we can look fly as hell and not be dressed.
We can go in some jeans, some dope shoes, and like
A nice jacket, you straight.
and you look good still. Like you literally look good. I would say turn the mic. Yeah, that way more. Yeah.
I'll probably just cut all that because it stopped right before that thing came, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I think I asked you, what was everybody else wearing?
Oh yeah. So what everybody else is wearing, a lot of the dudes were wearing similar, like a jacket, a dope jacket, t-shirt, jeans, some regular shoes, some Jordans or whatever the case may be. And a lot of dudes actually had beanie, like either hats or beanies. A lot of niggas was burning up because Clayton was like, "Hey, nigga, I'm hot right now. I'm leaving." I was just like, "I get it."
So was that hot in there?
It was because there was a lot of us in there. It's because it's a pretty small, it's a dope spot, but it's a
Right.
pretty small bar area, and so it's a lot of people in there. We're kind of like bumping into each other, so
okay.
it was like I could see why people will be hot pretty instantly. Yeah, and then all the women were dressed up. Like all the women were like dressed.
They love getting dressed. Bro.
Yeah, heels or something like that. Like you see, I mean, if you go on Instagram, a couple of the female comics that we know we're cool with, you know, they came in, they dressed up and stuff, or
Yeah,
somewhat.
They just love getting dressed. If I could wear sweats to every event, I would.
I love how she didn't. How she wasn't able to just directly communicate that with you, and also like just kind of wanted you to kind of know. Was her outfit like out on the bed like early?
No. I think what she had, and that's what made me upset. It's like she had in mind what she wanted to wear.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how come early in the day she wasn't like, "What are we wearing?"
Exactly, and that's my thing. It's like
Because then you would have shaved.
I would have did all that. I would have been like, cool. But I would say also, people say, I don't want to feel like I'm overdressed or whatever the case may be. I said, look, this is where I'll take accountability. I knew what the event was. I knew it was a regular bar, and I told her it was a bar show. I told her it was a bar event. But I probably should have specified more like, look, it's a regular bar. We ain't getting dressed up. But on...
Yeah, you didn't take charge. You ain't a man, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here we go with this
Here
shit.
we go.
But on her end, too, I told her, too, I was like, you should have... It's like, you were so gun-ho on dressing like this. It's like, you should have asked me what type of event it was. And I said, that's where the accountability has to be on your end. You could have asked me. You could have been like, yo, so is this a dress-up event? Because she normally does ask me that. Is this a dress-up event? Or say, hey, babe, look, we haven't dressed up. And then she was like, we haven't dressed up in so many months. I said, nigga, we went out on Valentine's Day. That was like 2-3 weeks ago. We just got dressed up. She was like, oh crap. Like she understands that I'm making sense now. And that's why she starts to laugh like, oh, okay, you got it. You win. You got it. It's not about even winning. It's just like, yo,
Right.
just express yourself. So I don't even want to have this type of discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're going to.
Go ahead.
Nigga, you're going to.
I don't have a choice.
Shit. I'll tell you that much.
So
I will say, though, ever since our last thing, things have been pretty smooth.
That's good, man. That's
Communication-wise.
he's like, yeah, I don't give
Yeah,
a
that's good to hear.
Gary was like, let's get here, man. What I gotta say is,
Because my girl don't watch it. She don't watch the show. Your girl don't watch the show either. So I'll like take tidbits from the show and like kind of
Bring 'em
strategically
home.
place them into conversations as to like this is how we can grow together.
mm,
And you know, she just and I'm realizing like she just can't in the moment. She just can't
No.
anything.
Yeah.
Anything off guard, like her and I together we're great.
Yeah.
We're great together, but when it comes to any sort of like parenting decisions that need to be made,
Yeah.
we just clash. We just have completely different schools of thought, and it just the shit just it's fucking it's like beyond difficult.
So y'all still trying for another baby?
Yes.
We have different
You're gonna have
parenting
her baby,
skills.
and I have my little nigga. Hopefully you can have a girl, and you can have your girl, man.
Is that what you guys want? Is it you want a boy, girl, and
Yeah,
then
I
knock it
wanted a
out?
girl off jump just because I thought it would be a little easier. Because obviously, she's a white woman, and I just thought it would be a little more fair.
Yeah.
For her, though it's it's a biracial child, but at least it's a girl, so she can like relate.
Oh, I
So
see
on
what you're
that
saying.
level.
Yeah.
Rather than
Now
it
she's
being
got a
boy
black
and
boy.
a black boy.
She got
yeah,
Yeah.
damn.
She ain't got it. Yeah.
Yeah, she ain't got shit.
This is very egotistical, I'm sure, what I'm about to say, but I wanted we don't have a child yet, but I wanted to have a child.
You will with them shoes, nigga.
Yeah.
You
the
got some
dad
shoes.
The
It's
dad
coming.
shoes. Hey, they're comfortable, man. Get you a pair of these sneakers, man.
They ain't paying you.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say the name. I was like, yeah, we pair of these sneakers. But I wanted a daughter specifically to just be like, you see, I raised a dope ass girl. It's not hard. Just
That's actually
It's not hard.
I wanted a daughter for that reason. Like after I had my boy, I was like, I kind of want a girl just to raise a dope chick that ain't fucking the
Yeah.
shit we complain about. I would
Yes.
have raised her understanding like this is how we feel. This is
Yep.
how she would have been so dope.
Yep.
And lately, I mean, I still don't want no more kids, but I was on this. I was on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Somehow I got into a rabbit hole of fathers and daughters. And
Yeah.
I was like, nigga, I want a daughter.
Bro.
And then, but I was like, but I don't want any more kids. And part of the reason we don't want any more kids is one from time,
Yeah.
money, whatever. Her body, she was like, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
But one of the main reasons we don't want another kid because we know it's just going to be another boy.
You feel in your heart. You think
I
it's
know
gonna
it's going to be another.
Yeah.
I have all brothers. We had boys. Keith had a girl, but we knew that was coming because Keith is just.
be- Yeah.
He's always been.
One of y'all
different.
gonna eventually have to have a girl.
But
I
like
think.
I'm not doing it because it's gonna be another boy, and like
Yeah.
there's no point in having 3 boys. We didn't want. The only reason would be if we could guarantee a girl, we might think about it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I can't guarantee that's not gonna happen. Let me just cut these balls off.
Yeah.
I wanted a girl just because it's I felt like it would just be easier because a lot of like shit that she would be going through in her teenage years, I could just like dismiss. It was like, oh, that's just a girl, just going through girl shit, and I just felt like it's like you got to raise a man. Like
Yeah.
for a girl, you don't got to do a lot. You mostly got to be present. You know what I mean? Like
You probably is your role.
yeah,
Yeah.
as a father.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
a father,
All you
like,
have to
yeah.
do for a father, you have to be her first example
Right.
of a
Of a
solid.
good- of a
nigga.
good-
Exactly.
yep,
Like,
yep,
that's it.
absolutely.
It's less pressure. I could be
Yeah.
I could be a little
If
lazy.
you treat her mama, right in front of her,
Yep.
and a few things like
Right.
my daddy always said, "Nigga, you good.
Yeah, you good.
You good.
You
You
with
got
a boy, nigga, you gotta do
You got life
everything.
lessons. You got
I gotta throw this nigga the ball.
Yeah.
I can't even throw a baseball no more. Nigga, I tried to throw a baseball a couple summers ago. Nigga, that shit went rude. I was like, wait, nigga, did I forget how to throw a baseball?
You actually have to raise a man to be a man because it's
Yeah.
like, especially with society nowadays trying to tell you like, don't like toxic masculinity and all
Fuck
this
all
stuff like
that
that.
shit,
It's just like, in all honesty, women say that, but it's just like literally the men that y'all actually want is that same type of dude. Like if I raise my boy soft and sensitive and all this stuff like that,
You
y'all
don't
don't
want
even
that
want those
nigga.
type of men. Y'all be like, yo, yeah,
It's a major block. And,
Yeah.
and it's a major disconnect in parenting because that's what we deal with.
yeah,
We deal with hella like, and the example that I gave her, I was like, hey, like I know culturally it's different, but like kids don't run black households.
yeah,
Like
No.
and she's like, I
Right.
don't think that I parent in a way where I let him like walk over me and I let him like run things. I was like, yeah, it's relative. Relatively speaking, you kind of do, but I'm not gonna tell you that. But I'm
Yeah.
like, your version of having control over your house is like much different than
Yeah.
mine.
Right.
I'm like, this nigga, like, there's a line.
yeah,
Right.
So once I learned, like, he's developing to a place where he can manipulate us against each other
Right.
and, use manipulative behavior and shit. I'm calling it out, and she's just now taking notice. Of it.
right.
yeah,
So that's kind of where we have the disconnect in terms of like him whining and crying and throwing tantrums and
Right.
shit.
You don't do that shit
She'll
with me.
immediately get a nigga a hug, and I'm like, does he need a hug right now?
Yeah.
Like,
He
is
tell
that
him
what he
sit his
needs?
ass down.
I'm like, is that what he needs?
You're right.
Like, he doesn't need a hug.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm the one disciplining him, and then you come in out of
he's
nowhere
not
and you give him
stupid.
a hug. I'm
Yeah.
like,
He ain't
now he's
stupid.
gonna be screaming and crying for you
Yeah.
in moments like that because he knows you're gonna come and save him.
Yeah.
But also, like, there's no miscommunication. He's not having a hard time, like, saying what he wants or what he wants it. He can't have it. I'm redirecting. You want this, that? No, okay, then you're not getting that,
Right.
and that's that, nigga.
That's
you can
that.
cry that out.
I don't give a shit.
5 minutes and
Yeah.
you good. But see, the thing was that she goes to the books. Like, there was a long time where I couldn't get anything off, even despite the fact
Them
that I got
parenting
a
books
big
are
ass family
stupid.
and hella nieces and
Right.
nephews. I couldn't get shit off because I didn't have the research backing it.
Oh,
So she's been on some, like, the scholarly journals, and
Yeah.
they say that,
Fuck outta here.
they say that he's at a developmental stage where he can't self-regulate. So then yesterday in the car, the nigga went ham. He was just crying, whatever. He does the thing. All right, I just
Yeah,
I'll just go into it. He every day we pick him up from daycare. He finds a car, squats behind the car, and take a shit. Every time we pick him from daycare, he goes to take a shit. 10-minute shit. He needs more liquids. Like we need to soften his stool. But he takes a 10-minute shit every time. But after he shits, he wants to play around a little bit too. So then when we try to get him in the car, he'll say pee and then squat down, as though he's like not done shit. And
Yeah.
we're like, dude,
Yeah.
you're done shit, and you're just playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, if he can do that, it's time for potty training.
yeah, it's somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
she
nigga
don't.
tell
She
you.
don't want to. She don't want. Anywho, so at a certain point, it's like, nah, nigga, we leaving. I put him in the car. He flips out, screaming, crying, throwing a whole tantrum, and I'm just sitting there, and she's just driving. 5 minutes passes. He stops. So I ask. I was like, what does his inability to self-regulate, like, what does that science say about this behavior?
You're
'Cause he does
contradicting.
this-
You're very
he does
being
it
condescending.
often.
You're being condescending to her now.
No, I wasn't. No, it's
What did your little book
it's
say,
hard.
huh? What did your little science say now?
It's hard to frame the question though, because I was curious for the
Yeah,
information.
absolutely, yeah.
I wasn't trying to attack her. I wanted the information. Like, so is this just every once in a while?
Yeah.
If you talking science to me, this shit needs to be consistent.
I'm with you.
Consistently, this is the behavior. He needs to be hugged and coddled and etc.
Right.
But I'm like, just off the simple fact that he was able to stop crying and just chill out, and now he's cool. What does it say about this?
Yeah.
And she was like, "Are you trying to say that?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not trying to say. I like really want the information, but I am trying to say that
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Like, it's just your preference. And what on that front, it's more about her than it is about him. She throws out the self-regulation shit, but in reality, she's uncomfortable with loud noise. She's uncomfortable with the screaming. It sends her
Yeah.
into a space of anxiety. So she's trying to correct it because she wants it to stop.
It bothers
For
her more than
It
anything.
bothers. So for me, I'm like, if we're being honest, keep it real. It's about you. It's not about him crying. It's about what the crying does to you and your body.
So what if she came to you and said that, and was fully on?
I would
honest?
be more receptive. I would be
Okay.
like, okay, at least I know it's not about him.
Okay.
It's not some bullshit that you're trying to mask and make it about him when it's really about you.
And that's what we talked about earlier about my girl with me wanting to dress and she's
Yeah.
trying to mask it. Just say exactly what it really is.
Say what it is.
Say what
Yeah.
it is, because now I can easily more accept it. And then, because once you got to cover with some bullshit, now I'm like,
Now I'm like,
I got to call the
I'm
bullshit out.
calling the bullshit.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's not a woman specific thing either. That's everybody. Like, my dad will over the last, I don't know, couple years, he's been like sharing stuff about his childhood and things of that nature, and we're like, oh, that's why you do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I'm like, it's a lot easier to deal with somebody when you know where they're coming from,
Right.
and why they're doing whatever it is
Right.
they're doing. So when in your relationships, when they're doing this shit and
Yeah.
you're trying to figure shit out, if you could just express to me where this come from, why you do this or whatever, that's a lot easier for me to take in. Like, oh, okay, well this is boom, done, fine.
Right.
But when you're doing all this other shit, I'm like, what is this really? What is this really? Like, what I want to. Here's the problem. Take me there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to go on this fucking journey. Just
exactly.
What is the goddamn issue?
And you know what she says? She says she processes verbally. So it may not be for you. It's for her to guide herself through to get to the point.
Got you.
So
Okay.
she's just talking herself through it to find
Which
her
makes
point.
sense.
But it's
Okay.
like, oh, but I gotta sit here and I gotta listen to it.
Right.
Once you go into a room,
Talk
talk
it out.
to yourself.
Write
for
it down,
5
nigga. I
minutes.
don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Well, talk yourself through it for 5 minutes, and then come out when you get to like the point.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I can hear that. 'Cause
Recorded
that's all
voice-
I need.
recorded
I don't
voice
need all
note.
this other all this extra fluff.
Because all the other fluff does is
Yeah.
actually frustrate me.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the
yeah.
fuck are you talking
I'm like,
about?
get to the
Yeah.
fucking point.
Well, and that, and it's like where they have to go to get to the point. It's like that don't have shit to do with shit.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But that's how they bring fine. But me hearing it, I'm like, nigga, this is not making sense. Or where is this going? What's happening right now?
This means nothing to what the actual point is. I know it doesn't. And then that's why I get more mad. It's like when you find out what it is, like, nigga, why didn't you just say that?
Because I couldn't just say it. I had
They
to
can't.
go. I had to take this route.
And then what makes
to
me
get to
mad
that.
too is she'll be doing her route and then be like, I forgot my point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going. I was like, nigga, because you took a left when you didn't have to. The point was right here,
Yeah.
and you took a back road and then made a like why? And now you didn't forgot what the hell you was even trying to say. So I just wasted 10 minutes of my day
Yeah.
when you talking bullshit, and you forgot what you was gonna say.
Do you think kind of for us in general, for us, speaking for us three, do you think it's either a man thing or do you think it's like a comedian thing that we're trained to cut the fat immediately?
No, it's
We're-
definitely just talking to men and married men.
I think
But
it's a men
it's a men
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
And and I think that for me, once I understand like your deficiencies
Yeah.
or in your once I can read something like, okay, you're just not capable of doing it this way, I can accept that. But if you're trying to come on the front like, no, I can keep up.
Mm.
I can have this dialogue. I can have this conversation, and it can be concise. If you present yourself as such, then it's like, okay, then let's have this conversation. But then once it starts going here and all over here, then I'm like, hold on, let's just focus on the fucking object.
Yeah.
Right.
But once I learn, like, oh, you're not capable of focusing on an object.
Right.
Okay, now I can accept that.
Right.
That's why one of my favorite sayings is like, if you yada yada yada, just say that.
Yeah.
It's so like I be telling her all the time, if you can't do this, just say that.
Just say it.
It's
Yeah.
easier for
Yeah.
me to be like, okay, the same thing. I can accept this just ain't you.
Uh-huh.
You can't do this thing or that thing. I am fine with that. I will make adjustments
Yeah.
to how
Exactly.
I communicate or how and that's what I've been doing
Yeah.
since we had our talk. I've been making adjustments to how I've been letting shit slide, even though it'd be killing me.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I did very good. I was like, and I've learned too, just taking a step back, that a lot of the stuff I was doing, I was like, you know what? I didn't even have to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Like, so
Mm.
yesterday was like,
What's an example?
we're about to shoot at 9 o'clock. We're about to go live. I went to the gym at 7 something. I was like, I'll be back by 8:15. Be ready in plenty of time. I get back. She's on the couch. I'm like, okay. She's sitting there watching the show. 8:40.
Mhm.
She was like, I'm about to hop in the shower. I wanted to say, nigga, this shit starts in 20 minutes. Said nothing. I said nothing. I was like, I'm gonna see if she rushes to get ready on time. So she takes a 10-minute shower. I'm like, now she has 10 minutes. And in my head, I'm like, this motherfucker, you've been sitting on this couch this whole
Yeah.
time, and we've had talks about your time management. Like, I hate when she says, I don't have time. You're just shitty at time management.
Right.
You knew we had to do this at 9. You started getting ready at 8:40. That's bad time management. When you take Keelan to school in the morning, and you're like, oh, we were running late. Well, you hit the snooze 3 times. That's bad time management.
Can I-
Yeah.
hold
Like,
on.
nigga.
I don't want to interject, but I had a thought of like, what is it about black people like having control over their households versus others? And I think a part of it is time management. Like we just don't have the time. Like I remember growing up, nigga, we were always rushing. Nigga, we were always in a hurry. It wasn't no time to like let you sit there and process your thoughts and your feelings
Yeah.
and have a tantrum. It's like, no, nigga, we gotta go now.
Yeah.
So and you got parents working 2 jobs and shit. They just ain't got time to be fucking around while
Yeah.
you fucking throw tantrums and process.
Yeah.
My bad, I just had to get that out.
Yeah, she's bad at time management. So now it's 8:55. She's still in her towel. I'm like, nigga, she's not gonna make it. So I just start setting up. So I keep tapping her phone so she can see the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, we got.
Hella passive aggressive, but
hella
yeah.
passive
But that's all we
But
got.
I'm calm. I'm
Yeah.
very calm. Like, hey, we got. I'm gonna start rolling a little bit.
Mhm.
I'm already dressed. And then so we were only by the time we started, we were only 2 minutes late. I let it ride because I'm like, what's 2 minutes?
Yeah, it's
to
not a
prove
big
a
deal.
point. That's
Yeah.
fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Show went great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was fine. So I was like, there is certain things I can eat, even though it was killing me. We were only a little bit late, but we didn't have to be late at all.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a big enough deal to be like, all right. So I'm glad I didn't say nothing when she originally got up, because I wanted to be like, you've been sitting here this whole goddamn time.
Right.
But then I would have started some shit. The show would have been weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I was just learning to eat more things,
Mm.
and then I've noticed that the eating it actually isn't bothering me.
Mhm.
It isn't killing me like I thought it would. I thought it would kill me to bite my tongue more or to say, but I'm like, you know what? Who gives a
Let her have
shit?
it.
So let me ask y'all this: do you think that falls into? Because I never wanted to fall into the old nigga logic of like, hey man, wife's been wife, man, just let her have it. When they,
Yeah.
you know, when
Me
men-
too. And I
Yeah.
think I was fighting that so much, hearing that from men,
Yep.
that I was going after everything. But I'm learning that little shit like that, I can let her have. I
Yeah.
can just go ahead and have it. My issue was I was fighting so hard. Like, you see that nigga been married 30 years and he's completely unhappy because he lets
Exactly.
too much big shit slide.
Yeah.
That was a small thing.
Right.
And now, so that the whole pick your battles thing,
And the big things.
I was like 2 minutes. But the whole pick your battles thing, I'm starting to understand more.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That wasn't a battle worth. It wasn't. It
And
just
that's
it
the-
didn't fucking matter.
But the
Yeah.
thing about that is that something that you? Is it something that she first? Is it something that she wants to work on? Is
Well,
it something
but
that
I've
you feel like she's capable?
Yes, because she's gotten so much better when I'm like, we got to be somewhere. Okay, I'll do my makeup in the car. Or my issue with her was always, I understand with kids, with our work schedule and stuff, you're gonna be running behind.
Yeah.
sometimes. My issue would be, like you said, pick it up.
Yeah.
Like when I know I have somewhere to be, I can kick into another gear to make sure we run faster. She still
Yeah.
moves at the same place. Like, you don't see that we're going to be extremely like pick the shit up.
Yeah.
That's what makes me annoyed. If we're running behind, we're running behind.
Yeah.
It was the lack of urgency
Yeah.
that would piss me off.
Yeah.
Now I see the difference in when she knows she'll pick it up. Like, okay, can you grab the kids? So I'm like, all right, at least you give a fuck.
Yeah.
My thing with people, just show me that you give a fuck.
Yeah.
You don't have to make the change so much, but just
Yeah.
like even when we're
It's
talking,
It's the look like you're doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nigga, look like you're doing something.
like even when our discussions, like you don't have to when we're talking, you don't have to correct the behavior right. But I want to know that you heard me.
Yeah.
I want to just do you give a fuck?
Yeah.
The do you give a fuck is the half of the battle for me.
Yeah.
If you can acknowledge some things, I'm good.
Yeah. If I see,
Because
if
I understand where people we're not gonna make changes immediately.
Yeah.
Right. And
But just give a shit.
I'm 100%. Nigga, you ain't changing. You don't have the capability to change.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the work on my part.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do all the changing.
Yeah.
'Cause I know I don't want to add additional stress into you that you can't handle.
Yeah.
I'll make the adjustments.
Mhm.
I know I'm comfortable making it. I've been making adjustments. I'll make the fucking adjustments. That's where that's kind of
Yeah.
where I'm at. That's why I was wondering, like, do you think that does she want to change that?
Yeah, I
Is that
think.
she wants to
Well,
work
I
on
think she's so. She's so
I'm talking too aggressive, by the way.
focused on. Well, you know, it's real. It's real.
Boy, I'm
Yeah.
too hot to that.
It's the copy. I think she's very into like, you know, marriage is about compromise and working on. I think she's conscious that we do have to make. You know, we change.
Yeah.
All right, what do you like? Even though it's hard for people and whatever. But then, like I said, I think we're starting to realize, you know, we're 10 years in. And I think we're starting to realize, too, like, these changes really aren't that big of a deal. Like,
Yeah.
at first, you're like, you're coming from your own world, your own background, you know, different. And then you do little things, you're like, that actually wasn't that bad.
Mm.
Like, that actually. And I remember people were telling me, all older married people, they was like, when you hit the 10-year mark, that's when you start learning whether you're going to make it or not.
Mm.
Because I don't know what happens at 10 years, but I've noticed our discussions, our behavior, everything is like, all right, we're just now navigating how this is going to go for,
Yeah.
you know, forever. Because it flies by. It goes by really fast. And then
Yeah.
next thing you know, you're like, shit, we've been together for a while.
Mm.
And we're still figuring. Like, people got on Jada when she said, I realized over the pandemic, me and Will didn't really know each other. But to me, that made sense.
They had careers.
They had careers,
Yeah.
crazy, and then they really didn't have time to like really dive into each other like that. And so I'm looking at me, I'm like, we're busy, whatever, not even close to that busy.
Exactly.
And I feel like I'm still just now getting to learn 10 years in,
Yeah.
being like, okay, so if you're stupid busy, I understand. That wasn't crazy to me that she
Yeah.
said that. And people were like, how you been together that long?
They're just
And I'm
calculating the
like,
years.
no.
They figured the
Yeah.
years.
I'm like, you
yeah.
don't really know people like that. And then you got all these people who've been together since 18 and live in nowhere, you know, Idaho, and you go to work every day. You got your little routine. That's
You never have to have those
you never,
conversations.
yeah, you don't have
Right.
to do shit. That's what you do.
Mhm.
And then half of y'all unhappy anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
When everything is homogenous, it is a little easier because it's predictable.
right.
Yeah.
But there is
That's
no.
boring
You don't
as fuck.
expand.
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah,
It's
this
it's
is
also
kinda
just
boring.
comfort too at that point. It's just like I'm
Yeah.
just comfortable here. I don't care to go out and leave anything like that.
But it's interesting about the kid raising thing, man, because
Yeah, it's challenging, and
Yeah.
I've kind of come to the place where I'm just like, okay, we're gonna do things differently, and hopefully at the end of the day there'll be balance for him. You know what I mean? He'll get kind of a taste of both.
yeah,
But if I'm in a space and it's me and him, like allow me to have that. If it's all three of us, I'll let you deal with it because you like taking on this nigga. It's early.
What time is it?
It's 11:55.
It's 11:56.
Yeah.
Oh, you on time.
Shit.
We can come back. It's
All
30 minutes anyway. That's a solid episode.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tap into that other thing anyway about self-love and all that shit. And,
That's what I want to talk about.
Yeah, so we can do that when we come back.
All right.
So our next episode, whatever. You know what I mean. Where you at?
I'm at the shoot. I think at this point in time, I won't be anywhere. But yeah.
Me either.
Yeah. When this drops, I got nothing. I got nothing, man.
Well,
well. Look
that's
who has
right.
something.
That's right. For all you bitch ass niggas who thought I wasn't up to shit. Yeah, you square ass niggas. I'm in West Palm Beach, motherfucking Florida. This 18-19, right?
That'll be
I'll be there March 18th and 19th at the Improv in West Palm.
dope.
Yeah, square
Yeah,
ass
so
niggas
just
thought I
go to
wasn't up to shit.
my website for everything. Now you guys keep asking me how to sign up for the Patreon. Shout out to everybody who jumped in the Patreon after finding out it was only $3. I've been telling y'all it's not expensive. So y'all found out it was only $3. Y'all wanted to hear the story about me choking that chick. And
You choked the woman?
oh, I didn't tell you the story.
Oh, you didn't tell him?
With your hands, nigga?
I didn't tell you the story. It wasn't like that. I gotta tell you the story.
Keanu.
If y'all want to hear the story, go on Patreon. And
Two hands?
three, no, whatever.
With a lift?
We'll see y'all next week. We out.